Bonjour. In this first grammar video, we are going to look at les verbes pronominaux, or pronominal verbs. As you know, pronominal verbs have two parts. There is the main verb as well as the pronoun. And to conjugate them correctly, you change both the pronoun and the ending of the verb. So for se laver, which means to wash up, you have the conjugation je me lave, tu te laves, il se lave, elle se lave, nous nous lavons, vous vous lavez, il se lave, elle se lave. As you also know, pronominal verbs are always conjugated with être. And so in the passé composé, you have je me suis lavé. There are three types of pronominal verbs. The first is reflexive verbs. For example, il se lave le matin. He washes up in the morning. Another type is reciprocal verbs. For example, elles se parlent en classe. They talk to each other in class. The third type is idiomatic verbs, in which the meaning is idiomatic or metaphorical. For example, je m'entends avec mes parents. I get along with my parents. With a reflexive verb, the subject of the verb and the direct object of the verb are the same person. And so with laver, you can wash yourself or you can wash someone else. But when you wash yourself, you use the pronoun se laver, to wash oneself, or more colloquially, to wash up. And so we have, for example, il se lave le matin. He washes himself, he washes up in the morning. Vous ne vous lavez jamais. You never wash yourself, you never wash up. Another example is réveiller. You can wake up yourself, you can wake up another person, but when you wake up yourself, in French, you use the pronoun se for se réveiller, to wake oneself, or more colloquially, to wake up. So for example, we have elle se réveille à 8 heures. They wake up at 8 o'clock. Tu ne te réveilles pas avant midi. You never wake up before noon. Other examples of reflexive verbs are se coucher, to go to bed, se raser, to shave oneself, or just to shave, se maquiller, to put makeup on oneself, or just to put on makeup, and se couper, to cut oneself. The second type of pronominal verb is reciprocal verbs. These are verbs where person A does something to person B, and person B does that same action back to person A. So for example, the verb aimer means to like or to love, but when person A likes person B, and person B likes person A, you can use the pronominal form s'aimer, which means to like one another or to love one another. And so, for example, we have vos parents s'aiment beaucoup. Your parents love each other very much. And mes parents ne s'aiment plus. My parents no longer love one another. Another example is écrire, which means to write. But when person A writes to person B, and person B writes to person A, you use the pronominal form s'écrire, which means to write to one another. So for example, nous nous écrivons tous les jours. We write to each other every day. Ils ne s'écrivent pas. They don't write to each other. Some examples of reciprocal verbs are se connaître, to know one another, to get to know one another. Se rencontrer, to meet one another. Se promettre, to promise one another. And s'embrasser, to kiss one another. The third type of pronominal verb is idiomatic verbs. These are pronominal verbs whose meaning has changed over time to be more idiomatic or metaphorical. And so, for example, we have the verb appeler, which means to call. And so you might think that s'appeler means to call yourself, and it kind of does, but the real meaning is more precise, to be named. And so, for example, we have Il s'appelle Jacques, his name is Jacques, and Je ne m'appelle pas Jacques, my name is not Jacques. Another example is tromper, which means to fool or deceive. And so you might think that se tromper means to fool yourself or to deceive yourself. And again, it kind of does, but the meaning is more precise, to be mistaken. And so we have tu te trompes de l'adresse, you are mistaken about the address. Elle ne se trompe jamais, they are never wrong. Other examples of idiomatic verbs are s'amuser, to have fun, s'ennuyer, to be bored, se demander, to wonder, and se trouver, to be located.